Unfortunately, let's talk about some of these Detroit GMs. Because this, the last time a major Detroit sports franchise won a championship was in 2008. Both the Detroit Red Wings and Detroit Shock won titles that season. Since then, the Red Wings have made the Stanley Cup Finals once, which was the following season. The Tigers have made the World Series once, which was in 2012. They were swept by the San Francisco Giants. Neither the Lions or Pistons have been in the championship round since the city has seen its last championship. So that brings me to our current franchise general managers / team executives. Because actually, Scott Harris is not the Tigers general manager. He's the president of baseball operations. The general manager is Jeff Greenberg, who should probably get a lot more of this work. But Scott Harris makes the personnel decision. So the Red Wings currently have no general manager since Steve Yzerman retired. He resigned, I should say.
Well, I mean,
/ fired.
They had to do it delicate. He's been good too.
The Lions are led by Brad Holmes, and the Pistons, of course, by Trajan Langdon. Each has had varying levels of success. Brad Holmes had spectacular drafts to start, but his last two have been spectacularly, let's call them mediocre. I think 2024 was bad, but, that's up for some discussion, I guess. Trajan has presided over a nice turnaround, but it's difficult to determine what exactly he's responsible for, aside from the hiring of J.B. Bickerstaff, which in fairness is a pretty big piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
Scott Harris is a good talent evaluator, but has demonstrated no understanding how to build a winner. So let me ask the People's Champ, is there a systemic problem in Detroit sports business, or does each franchise have its own unique challenges? What say you?
Well, yes, absolutely. Each franchise has their own unique set of challenges. But again, it is something that permeates throughout all of these organizations that we're okay with putting up a good fight as opposed to.
That's a good observation.
As opposed to not tolerating losing or mediocrity. Like we settle for that. It's like, we treat beating the defending Super Bowl champs on a Thursday night game like a genuine show of like our arrival.
Yeah.
And we'll be okay with that. For 5 years. And it's just like, dog, like, get over that. Like, we're the same team, or we're worse. And I don't know what the cause of it is. I mean, we talked about it off camera, with the Red Wings. Maybe, it was like the end of the salary cap era where, once,
They've never adjusted to
once Holland couldn't, Steinbrenner his way to a Stanley Cup every year, which is basically cut the check, which is essentially what the Dodgers are doing. They kind of lost their way, literally. So it's kind of hard to gauge where they're at per se.
Yeah.
But even with that, with Yzerman, it's kind of back to the leverage thing, and when it related to our players, and the negotiations with our homegrown guys.
Sure.
And I mean, the Pistons, it's like a double-edged sword with the Pistons because that moniker actually has yielded 3 champions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
the Pistons has a clear line of demarcation as well, just like the Red Wings with the coming in of the salary cap era. The Pistons, to me, very clearly is when Mr. Davidson passed away.
Yeah, okay, fair.
He was a fantastic owner, and ever since Mr. Davidson, which I think was 2007, that it's been all just a comedy of errors ever since then. It's all downhill from there.
I mean, I think that's fair to say, and very interested in terms of taking a deep dive into that, because I mean, I think Gores, I think he like spends the money.
Yep.
And I don't think he's afraid to like be innovative or is open to new ideas or the way the game shifted itself.
But Mr. Davidson understood the basketball
Right,
operation.
right,
He
for
knew-
sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For
Like he
sure.
was a basketball.
He got the Pistons with the full intent and purposes of making it a championship team.
Correct.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's what we do here in terms of building. But no, and then, you have the Lions again. It's kind of the same story. Campbell comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He takes us, off the floor.
Yep.
And now we're kind of in this gray area of grit.
Yep.
And it's like as long as we resemble the grit moniker,
Yep.
we'll be okay. And that's cool. And I'm not cool with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like something has to happen where the expectation has to elevate.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to remain at an elevated level. There has to be an expectation, especially for the franchises that we have here that have won. I mean, really, especially when you talk about the Tigers. Like the Tigers, we haven't won since '84, but that is an historical baseball franchise.
That is.
So yeah, I just wish we would kind of just get over this. We're cool with being the tough out.
Yep. Go ahead, nephew. What you got?
I don't think it's necessarily the fan base is being cool with being the tough out. Because I don't think
I
that's...
think he's talking about
I'm not.
the
I'm
organization.
Oh, you're talking about the
fans.
fans. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the organization.
I'm talking about the organization.
Okay, so let me back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the fan standpoint, and I think we're gonna get into it more after this. I think from the fan standpoint, because we love our city so much,
Mm-hmm. We do.
and again, it's Detroit versus everybody all the time.
Yes, sir.
I think the fan bases want the players, the prospective players, to see that. But at the end of the day, and we said this, we talked about this last week.
I have this in my notes. I think you going where I was about to go. Go
Like
ahead, nephew.
at the end of the day, I think that people need to come to the realization that Detroit just doesn't appeal to people as they think they do.
Right.
And
It's not a free agent destiny.
it's okay. It's not a free. And then on top of that, I just want to we talk about how the Red Wings and the Tigers are these historical franchises. I think it's more obvious now, and as we keep going on, don't nobody care about the past.
That's
Right.
true. That's
Like,
fair.
If anybody cared about the past, college football wouldn't look the way it do right now.
Fair point.
If anybody cared about the past, college basketball would look different.
Baseball, pitch clocks,
Right.
no shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we got all kinds of new.
And
stuff.
I'm not talking about the games as a whole. I'm talking about where people choose to go to play.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay. If it's the Lakers, that's one thing. If it's the Yankees, that's another thing. Cowboys,
Right. Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But it's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame's really just starting to get back.
Right.
Right.
So it's just
They've been they're like on year 4?
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and the same goes for Miami.
Yeah.
Like,
It's been a 20-year trek.
right. So it's just, I think,
But I think to your point though, I think to his point, like the Detroit fan base is so loyal and they want so bad. I think that these GMs, and they know that, and they know like, hey man, if you put a product out there that's competitive, like they can't be terrible, they got to win, but if they're competitive and they, every now and then they win a playoff series here against a team they ain't supposed to beat,
Yep.
they'll keep showing up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then if it's really, 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 really bad, they'll get apathetic, and then we just sell them any semblance of hope, and then they'll come running right back. So I mean, I think nephew's 1,000% right when he says like the Detroit fan base has like an unshakable kind of like symbiotic relationship with their sports team.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And yeah, like I actually have something very similar to what nephew said about the fan base. But first, I do think that there are systemic issues. Nephew touched on it. We are not a free agent destination. That's number one, particularly in three of the sports, which, with the Pistons, Red Wings, and Lions. Baseball is a little different because people go where the money is. The sport is played during the summertime, basically. So the weather is not as much of a consideration,
Right,
but particularly, in those three sports, it's not a free agent destination. It's not a place where free agents are going to look to sign. That doesn't mean that we'll never sign a big name free agent ever.
Right.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah,
I think that kind of plays a part for the Tigers too, because I don't think free agent hitters are willing to go to Comerica Park and play 81 games
it's
in
a
Comerica.
huge park. Yes, that's a great point, nephew. Yeah, because those home run numbers are going to dip as opposed to going to these smaller parks with short porches. And
teams that are about winning say, you know what, we're going to move that wall in, especially when you say, nephew, like we're in this era where, hey, man, screw tradition.
Right.
Move that damn wall in so we can get some more home runs flying out of here.
Yeah.
Get some hitters that come to the park. And, again, fans will come because they always come to see home runs if you have that attraction there.
Yep. And our owners have not always been adept when it comes to each particular sport. Like I think Tom Gores, he knows almost nothing about basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to be too hard on him, but
the double-doubles and stuff.
Yeah, right. It kind of shows. The Ford family, they've been historically bad at running the Lions, but it's actually gotten better since the women have taken the leadership role. Chris Illich is not as astute as Mike was when it comes to either the Red Wings or the Tigers.
Or passionate.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen both of those organizations suffer. So I think there is some systemic issue there as well. And then they do have unique challenges. We talked about the Red Wings with the salary cap era. There's a clear line of demarcation there. The Pistons, again, I talked about Bill Davidson. When Mr. Davidson passed away, it's been a comedy of errors ever since then. From Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva.
Come on, man.
Why
Why do you always find a way to mention that shit every time you get a chance, man?
And truth be told, you can say the same thing for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's real. That's what I'm saying. Like since Mr. Illich has not been here, we can see that things have gone off the rails. Like that these guys were a check. Like you could tell Mr. Davidson was a check for Joe Dumars when he was swinging trades and making signings. He was saying, yeah, hold on, bro.
Right.
We're not going to do that one. Let's do this one.
I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I ain't paying for that one. Let's do this one. That's a good one. That ain't a good one. And you saw that those checks came off when he was no longer there. So, and I'm not saying that Joe never made a poor decision when Mr. Davidson was around, because he did make some, but there was a governor on those, and he made a lot of good ones too, because he had somebody that he could bounce stuff off of that was actually around for the winning times.
Rodney White was going to work.
Yeah, and I mean, the Tigers have just struggled to find balance, under Scott Harris. He seems to be pitching obsessed. Like the guy just,
bruh, he think he's on a quest to find the next Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz, bro. He's on a mission.
I don't think he's pitching assessed. I think he's left-handed assessed.
Yes, yeah, real talk. Like, bro, he left it. Yeah, you're right. We get left-handed
shit.
Yeah. And then Trajan Langdon is conservative to the point of being paralyzed.
He about to make my list.
Yeah. And
he about to be on my list.
And Brad Holmes has decided that the term defense wins championships is passe, because we field the top 5 offense every single season, and then every offseason we tweak the offense.
Hey, dog, we're having dialogue.
I mean, I'm like, and that has no bearing on whether or not I think we need to re-sign Jahmyr Gibbs. But that notwithstanding, like we are obsessed with the offensive side of the ball in his era. Like his era is upset. We trading up to get J-Mo. We trading up to get Laporta. We trading down to get Jahmyr Gibbs. We trading all over the place. And then when we got a late first round pick, then we'll get Tyreek Williams.
Didn't we trade up to get Isaac?
Tesla, yes. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, we trading all over the place for these offensive pieces. The dude he's obsessed with offense and mildly interested in defense. Like, yeah, we'll give Aleem McNeil $98 million. You know what I'm saying?
For 9 games.
Like, we might get some offense. We might get some defensive players in here.
Double.
Yeah, right. Like, he's mildly interested in defense. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I love that the offense is high powered. I do. I'm like, if we gave a few resources to the defense, though, like, we would be great.
I told my boy the other day, man, shout out J-Rock. He said, Lance, what they gonna do? What the Lions gonna do, man? Super Bowl this year? I'm like, bruh. I mean, we got one of the best offense. I said,
we do.
I said, listen,
gotta be able to stop somebody.
This is just me. Until they can show me, and I'm nobody, but until I see them consistently, they ain't even got to stop it. Until they consistently there on 3rd and long.
Then people are not running wide open.
Then we can have some conversations about Super Bowl. Like, I can't take the 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8s and the 3rd and 11s that are consistently converted with this team, though. I can't take it.
Go ahead, Neff, before I go to my next question.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And it's pertaining to where we're currently at.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time that you can think of where a Detroit franchise that was winning identity was offensive based?
That is a fabulous question. Is there ever a time I can remember? So I was born in 1981. I mean, so let me say that the Bad Boys were actually better offensively than people give them credit for, but that wasn't their identity. So yeah, so I'm not gonna cop out.
Right.
But no, not that I can think of. No.
You mean in our lifetime?
Yeah, no.
I mean, you could argue the '84 Tigers.
Right, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not.
Like, you could argue. I mean,
but they really was Fidrich.
I mean,
but
McClain. But
McClain won 31 games.
No, I'm saying their defense was, but they were pretty dominant.
Yeah, they had good bats. They had really excellent bats, but really, I mean,
the bats were more timely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They was marked by pitching. Denny McClain in them 31 games, and then Mark the Bird. Yeah, like they was really a team that was good on the mound.
And they had great infield defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Sparky though, Sparky was
a great manager.
He was a gamester in terms of offense though. Yep. So I wouldn't say high power, but they were definitely creative offensively.
Yeah,
and
I don't know that was the identity though.
I think it's similar to those late 90s, early 2000 Red Wings teams. Yeah, they were good offensively, but their identity was their toughness.
Yeah. Because when they were high-powered offense, they couldn't get past Colorado.
That's what I'm thinking. Like when you think
in the late 2000s,
when you think back to those Red Wings teams and you think back to those moments that you can remember, the moments you remember is them getting on that ice and beating the dog shit out of Colorado.
yeah.
And I'm talking about literally. I'm not talking about on the ice on the scoreboard. No, I'm talking about literally going out there and putting belts.
Mike Fernan.
Yeah.
But I also I just want to mention something. Detroit fan man 89899 said in the chat. But we traded up for Arnold and Talik's a first round pick. What are we talking about? The best safety duo in ball is broken. Hutch was number 2 overall.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we never ever Tyleek, that was a late first round pick. We didn't trade up for Tyleek. We did trade up for Terry and Arnold. And by the way, I didn't love us doing that. I didn't even think he was the best corner on his team, and I think that history is going to support me in that. But you right. You are right. I'm not saying that we never ever draft any defense. I'm saying that if you look at the track record, definitely what we do most and what we go after most is the offensive side of the ball. Penei Sewell was his first early draft pick. We much more is my only point. And we already have a top 5 offense. The offense is excellent every year. We talk about it all the time. Jared Goff, no quarterback in the NFL has more passing yards or passing touchdowns than Jared Goff in the past 3 years. And it's not close.
Yet Justin Herbert is ranked higher.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Sorry.
a conversation for
I'm
another
not over.
day.
I'm not over that.
But, and it's not close. Like, you can look that up. It's not close. Nobody else is close. Not Mahomes, not Burrow, not Lamar Jackson. Nobody is close to
None
him.
of you.
Nobody is close to him in passing yards or passing touchdown. He is so far away from everybody else, and we still draft offense. Like, his preference is to go offense. And yes, I agree that, yeah, you can come up with a couple of instances where we did. Yeah, Hutch was a no-brainer at number 2. I get that. But, and yes, and we did draft Jack Campbell. There's instances where we have drafted defense, but the lion's share of what, no pun intended, of what he does is the offensive side of the ball. That he believes in offense. And then we piecemeal the defense here and there. We signed DJ Wanham for 1 year, $3 million. And then we signed a bunch of depth pieces in the secondary. And then we grabbed Devin White off the, wherever he was at. And we getting ready to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grabbing little ancillary. We not grabbing ancillary pieces for the offense. We not doing that. We spending big money on the offense.
Right, yeah.
We not doing that. We ain't grabbing nobody the caliber of Devin White who's available in early August to sign him to the offensive side of the ball. You're not seeing nothing like that. So I know what I'm talking about. I like Brad Holmes. I'm not trying to run down Brad Holmes, but that's a good observation. He likes the offensive side of the ball, and that's okay. We have a great offense, but if we made a little bit more and I agree, like the safeties falling apart, that's bad luck in some of it. But if we made more of an investment into the defensive side of the ball, we'd be much closer to where we want to be.
Spread the wealth.
Yeah, definitely.
Spread the depth.